I was sitting in the doctor's waiting room when I heard my name. It wasn't a routine appointment. It was that conversation nobody wants to have. My doctor looked at my blood work and said something that froze my heart. Your biological markers are indicating that your body is aging faster than it should for your age. I was 46 years old, but according to those numbers on paper, my body was 56, an entire decade. Stolen, and the worst part, I thought I was doing everything right. Balanced diet, gym 3 times a week, vitamins. But there I was, looking at proof that my body was deteriorating faster than time was passing. If you've ever felt like you're aging too fast, that your body doesn't respond like it used to, that your energy simply vanished, ... Welcome to Renewed U40s, where we talk about real transformations for real women over 40. Because what I discovered after that day completely changed not only how I felt, but literally reversed my biological age. And today, I'm going to share exactly what worked. You know that moment when you realize something is profoundly wrong? It wasn't in the tests. It was 3 months before. I was climbing the stairs in my house, the same stairs I'd climbed every day for 15 years, and I had to stop halfway, out of breath, heart racing. And I thought, when did this happen? When did I become ... old? It wasn't just the stairs. It was waking up tired even after sleeping 8 hours. It was looking in the mirror and not recognizing the woman looking back. Not because of wrinkles. I could even accept those. But it was something deeper. It was like the light had turned off inside. My husband tried to be gentle. It's age, honey. Everyone goes through this, but I couldn't accept it. 46 years old isn't old. It shouldn't be. So I started researching, and that's when I fell down a rabbit hole of longevity science that changed everything. I discovered there's something called biological age versus chronological age, and they're not the same thing. You can be 50 years old on the calendar but have a 40-year-old body. Or, like in my case, be 46 with a 56-year-old body. Recent studies show that our biological age is measured by markers in our DNA called epigenetic markers. They basically show how fast your cells are aging. And here's the part that gave me hope. Researchers discovered this is reversible. A study published in 2023 followed a group of women between 46 and 65 years old. Exactly my age range. And they managed to reduce their biological age by an average of 4.6 years in just 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Some reduced up to 11 years. It wasn't surgery. It wasn't experimental drugs. It was lifestyle changes, specific, intentional, science-based. When I saw that study, something clicked. It wasn't about accepting aging. It was about understanding how my body worked and giving it what it needed to regenerate. Because that's what our bodies do naturally. They regenerate. Every day, millions of cells die and are replaced by new ones. The problem is that as we age, this process slows down, becomes more inefficient. The new cells aren't as good as the old ones, and that's when aging begins. But what if we could speed up that process again? What if we could give the body the right tools to create better, younger, more efficient cells? This became my mission, and I wasn't alone. Longevity experts like Dr. David Sinclair from Harvard have dedicated their careers to understanding this. And you know what they discovered? That the simplest things, the ones we always ignore, are the most powerful. First thing I changed, my sleep. I always thought 7 hours was enough. After all, I had a lot to do. Work, house, family. Sleeping seemed indulgent, but research shows that sleep is when your body does most of its cellular repair. It's when it cleans toxins from the brain, repairs tissues, regulates hormones. Neuroscience experts like Robert Love explain that chronic sleep deprivation accelerates brain aging and increases inflammation in the body. And inflammation is one of the main causes of accelerated aging. I started prioritizing 8 hours of sleep every night. Non-negotiable, and the first few weeks were hard. My body was so used to functioning in emergency mode that it didn't know how to relax. But after 3 weeks, something changed. I woke up one day and realized I hadn't hit snooze. My eyes just opened. Alert, energized, and for the first time in years, I felt renewed. But sleep was just the beginning. The second change was my eating, and no, it wasn't another crazy fad diet. It was about understanding how different foods affect cellular aging. I learned about something called methylation adaptogen foods, foods that support a process in DNA called methylation, which controls how our genes express themselves. Dark leafy greens, beets, eggs, avocado, berries. These foods literally help your body turn off aging genes and turn on youth genes. I cut processed sugar completely, and that was harder than sleep. Sugar creates something called glycation, where sugar molecules bind to proteins in your body, including collagen, and damage them. That's why high sugar diets accelerate wrinkles and loss of elasticity. But it's deeper than that. Sugar also fuels chronic inflammation, which ages every organ in your body from the inside out. The first 2 weeks without sugar were horrible. Headache, irritability, uncontrollable craving to eat anything sweet. But after the third week, something incredible happened. My energy stabilized. Those 3 p.m. energy crashes gone, and my skin started changing. Less puffy, clearer. That glow I thought I'd lost forever started coming back. Third change, exercise, but not the way I was doing it. I spent an hour on the treadmill, steady pace 3 times a week, and I thought I was being healthy. But research from the Mayo Clinic shows that high-intensity interval training, HIIT, can slow cellular aging by up to 69%. 69%. They do this by increasing the regeneration of mitochondria, our cells' powerhouses as we age. Our mitochondria become less efficient. HIIT renews them. I started doing 20-minute high-intensity workouts 4 times a week. Sprints, burpees, explosive squats. It was brutal at first. My body ached in ways I didn't even know were possible. But after a month, I was stronger than I'd been in years. And it wasn't just muscle strength. It was energy, mental clarity. I felt alive in a way I'd forgotten. And there's one more thing nobody talks about enough: muscle strength. After 40, we lose 8% of muscle mass every decade if we don't do anything about it. And muscle mass isn't just aesthetics, it's metabolic health, it's bone density, it's hormonal balance. I started doing strength training twice a week. Squats, deadlifts, nothing complicated but consistent. And my body responded. But there was a fourth change that was perhaps the most important, and nobody told me this one. I discovered it myself. Stress. Chronic stress ages you faster than anything else. A study showed that a man who was participating in an age reversal research had his biological age increase by 4 years during a period of intense family stress. 4 years. In weeks. Stress accelerates telomere, shortening the structures that protect the ends of our chromosomes. Short telomeres equals accelerated aging. I realized I was living in a constant state of low-level stress. Worry about work, about kids, about money, about the future. My body was always in fight-or-flight mode, so I started meditating. 10 minutes a day, and I hated it at first. My mind wouldn't stop, but I forced myself. And after a few weeks, it started getting easier. And I noticed something surprising. I was breathing differently, deeper, calmer. My heart wasn't always racing, I was at peace. I added nature walks. Studies show that spending time outdoors reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and increases feelings of well-being. Cardiologists like Dr. Eric Topol recommend nature prescriptions as part of longevity strategies. I started walking in the park 3 times a week. No headphones, no podcast, just me, the trees, and the silence. And those 30 minutes became the most sacred part of my day. 3 months after that day in the doctor's office. 3 months of prioritized sleep, intentional eating, smart exercise, and stress management. I went back for new tests. I sat in the same chair, same doctor, same room. But when he looked at the results, his expression changed. He looked at me, looked at the papers, back at me. "This is unusual," he said. "Your markers have improved significantly. In fact, you're biologically younger now than you were 3 months ago." My biological age had dropped from 56 to 49. 7 years. In 3 months, 7 years that I got back. Not through miracle pills or expensive procedures. Through daily choices, consistent, intentional. I'm not saying I turned 25 again. I'm not saying I discovered the fountain of youth. But I am saying my body responded, that it wanted to heal. That it was waiting for me to give it the right tools. And the most incredible part, it wasn't just the numbers. It was how I felt. I climbed those stairs without stopping. Woke up before the alarm, energized. My skin had that glow back. My eyes were brighter. I laughed more, had patience with my kids. I wanted to date my husband. I felt like myself again. Not the 25-year-old version, the better version. The version that knew what she wanted and had the energy to go after it. Today, almost 2 years later, my biological age is 44. I'm 48 years old. My body is 4 years younger than my actual age, and I'm not stopping, because I learned that aging isn't inevitable the way we think. Yes, we'll age chronologically. The candles on the cake will increase. But how our body ages, that's much more under our control than we've been told. Research suggests that only 20 to 30% of aging is genetic. The rest, environment, lifestyle choices. That means 70 to 80% of your aging is in your hands in your daily choices. What you eat, how you move, how you sleep, how you manage stress, that's power, that's control. Not over wrinkles or gray hair, who cares about that, but over how you feel, your energy, your vitality, your ability to live fully. And here's what I learned that's most important. Starting is more important than being perfect. I'm not perfect. There are days I eat pizza. There are weeks I skip workouts. There are nights I sleep 5 hours. But most days, I make the choices I know serve my body, and that's enough. Because age reversal isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about patterns, not individual days. If you're here watching this and thinking, is it too late for me? Let me be very clear. It's not. That study I mentioned, the oldest woman was 65, and she reversed 11 years of biological age. 11, your body wants to heal. It's designed to regenerate. It just needs the right conditions, the right tools, the right environment. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to involve exotic supplements or sophisticated equipment. It needs commitment. It needs consistency. It needs you deciding that you deserve to feel good in your own body, that you deserve energy, that you deserve vitality, that you deserve more years, not just more years, but more quality years. Years where you can dance, travel, play with grandchildren, start new projects, live. So here's my invitation to you. Choose one thing, just one. Don't try to change everything at once. Choose the one that resonates most. Maybe it's prioritizing your sleep. Maybe it's cutting processed sugar. Maybe it's adding 20 minutes of intense movement. Maybe it's finding a way to manage stress. Choose one and do it for 30 days. Just 30 days, and see what happens. Your body will respond. It may not be dramatic in the first few days, but it will respond. And remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. I'm just a woman who was aging too fast and decided to do something about it, and it worked. If you have specific health conditions, please consult your doctor. Get your tests done. Understand your body. But don't accept that accelerated aging is inevitable, because it's not. You deserve to feel incredible. You deserve to have energy. You deserve a body that responds. And you can have that. Not through tricks or shortcuts, but through respect. Respect for your body, for what it needs, for what it can become when you give it the right conditions. If this video touched you in any way, subscribe to the Renewed U40s channel. Every week, I share more about how we can not only age better, but literally reverse some aspects of aging, because we deserve it. See you in the next video. And remember, you're not getting old, you're becoming wiser, and with the right tools, stronger too.